Record. Okay, it says recording. Hello, this is Douglas DeBecker with Fallen Rhythm Institute. I'm here with Charles, a doctor of traditional medicine system from Africa called the Gurunsi people, which are in Ghana and some other countries as well. I'll go ahead and let you tell us a little bit about that, Charles. Where are you at, and what's the where's the system of medicine that you practice originate?
All right. So I'm from Ghana, specifically West Africa, and the region is Upper East region, and we are the Grushi people from Ghana, Burkina Faso, and some parts of Togo, about 3 different countries. Uh, we are mostly agrarian people. We are in the tropical and savanna areas, and mostly our medicines are from the herbs, and then the earth. We use different forms of healing for various sicknesses or various ailments. So, but mostly we use the herbs. That is the roots of trees, the bark of trees, the leaves, and then seeds, and then some other forms of spiritual healing.
Do you also have a lot of dietary recommendations as well in the system?
Yes, we have dietary recommendations. Sometimes when um, people have, for instance, when somebody has a broken bone, is not supposed to eat certain foods, and we have some herbs that we usually wrap around the person's the part of the body that is broken.
Okay, Charles, could you tell me a little bit about how you got involved in this in your traditional healing system? Is it part of
All
your
right.
is it part of your family, or did you get involved in a different way?
All right, it's a family thing. Mostly where I come from um, is purely a traditional setting where almost every household has some form of herbal healers. And so you grow with it. You are born into it, and then you learn from the elders as well, and then the herbalists, the elders and the herbalists. So I was born into it, and then I grew. I took it up.
Uh-huh. And can you say a little bit about the story behind the Gurunshi people and the medicine system? I was reading a little bit about it, and it said that actually your people are actually well known for their knowledge in herbal medicine, and that they actually used it with a special dance of some sort to protect them against being attacked at one point. Is that
Yes, that's true. The parts where we come from is in the past. It used to be very, very warlike, and there was invasions from different angles, and the people were mostly uh, they use herbs, and then some form of, if you like, mudras or postures to protect themselves. So they incorporated this in a form of dance, and they also incorporated it in their dresses, the dress that they wear, and then the houses that they live in. Everything was connected. So it's like a code. It's kind of coded in everything. So helps decoration of the houses into symbolisms, and then the dresses that they wear, everything is kind of connected. So yeah, that's true.
How where did the knowledge of the medicine system come from in your tradition? Do they talk about an event like where the medicine system was given to someone and then they passed it on? Is there a story behind all that?
There's no particular story, but individual clans or households have their various um,
Special.
inheritance or stories behind the systems or how they inherited. For us, we my clan, for instance, we learned a lot from animals, and then observation of nature, and we had certain elders who had to live in forests and were able to learn from nature and passed it on to other generations, and it kept on like that till date.
So my connection is getting a little bit weak. I may have to turn my video off. Can you hear me okay? Can you can you hear me?
Hello, are you with me?
Okay, you can bring it closer. Say that again. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm going to turn my video off just
I
to
said
help the internet connection. So I'll still be
that's
here.
fine. That's fine.
Okay, okay. Just 1 second.
Okay.
Let me stop my video. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So hopefully that's better. It's up in the window.
Yeah.
Um, so Charles, tell me, what are you doing now with the medicine? Are you treating people? Do you have a clinic?
All right. So there is no clinic, but individuals come for voluntary treatments or voluntary advice as to how to go about some health tips or some ailments that they have. So it's a bit complicated here because we do not have an organized system um, where there's a place people can just go and have treatment. Usually, this is done in individual um, um, specialist homes. So it is different from the Western world where they have places where people can just go and have treatments. Here you have to go to the individuals' homes because they don't leave their homes to other places for treatment, for
Uh-huh.
treating their patients. So
So,
the healers are usually in their homes, and the home is part of the environment for healing.
uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's is that the traditional way for a long time?
Yes, this has been the traditional way of healing for a very, very long time. And with the families, we have different healers. For instance, some healers are specialized in in bones. Everything that has to do with bones, they are specialized in that. So they heal only people who have issues with broken bones.
Mm-hmm.
And some are also specialized in eyesight, right? So they also deal with patients or people who have problems with sight. We have others who um, deal with spiritual issues, like people who have problems with some forces that they they, 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 they are unable to, how do I say it, they have problems with spiritual issues or mental issues.
Mm.
So there are various types of healers when you come down here, but there are generalistic healers too who can incorporate different types of healing. Yeah.
What would you say are the most common diseases that are kind of uh,
Okay.
suffering people?
So
What are the main illnesses that are being treated?
okay. So here we have the common disease, sickness is malaria.
Mm.
Malaria is what is very very prevalent here. And even though we have herbal healing for it, but there are also medicines from the chemical shops for treatment.
Uh-huh. What is the
So
traditional treatment for malaria really effective?
yeah, it's very very effective. In fact, there are some herbs that are very very effective for malaria and fever, and then it's those herbs when combined they treat a lot of sicknesses. So you just have to do it, and when once it is treated, you are through with all the sicknesses that are, are linked to malaria, fever, typhoid, you know,
Hmm.
common cold.
And so how popular is the Western medicine?
It's very very popular here because it's actually one of the reasons why our indigenous medicines uh, are kind of fading off because um, it seem very easy to get Western medicines here, and it's quite um, simple to take Western medicines compared to the African or the traditional herbs that are sometimes bitter and sometimes cumbersome to go to follow the procedures. So yeah.
Charles, was there a need for Western medicine to come in? Was like I'm thinking of malaria, were many people dying? Was there a plague, something? Why did Western medicine come in so strong?
All right. So I would have to say one of the reasons is uh, it's just a global agenda of um, making money. You know,
Uh-huh. Okay.
yeah. It's just that is how I see it, and then
In your
It's they bring those medicines are brought in, and usually because they are put in, they are very easy to just take a pill. You know, it's sometimes confusing because with the traditional medicines you have to either boil the herbs and bath it and drink some, and then you have to do what we call uh, some form of either using a blanket to cover yourself and inhale the steam. You know, some people don't want to go through all this, so they just go for the Western medicine. But there are people who, from birth, have never taken Western medicine. There are still people who believe in the African traditional medicines.
Mhm. So, are there some things that the Western medicine, and I'm not talking about surgery or like reconstruction, mechanical stuff, but are there some things about the Western medicine that you've seen has been more effective? Or would you say in general the traditional medicine is sufficient?
Well, I think to some extent there are some of the medicines that have proven effective. Um, uh, I I can't say for, like, I can't, my what I'm saying is just not a general statement, but I think with the number of people going to hospitals, um, it would have been very, very problematic without the Western medicines.
Mm,
But that is also because a lot of people have kind of lost touch with our traditional uh, medicines, and
so you're
people
saying,
want to,
it sounds like you're
people
saying,
always,
yeah, please continue. I'm sorry.
that's okay. People always want to go for cheaper things and easier things, you know. So they they go in for what is easy to do and what cheap for them.
Uh-huh.
So, but
So the
um,
traditional medicine can sometimes be a little bit more expensive or complicated, huh?
um, expensive in the sense that it has to go through rigorous methods or procedures to be treated.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Uh-huh.
for instance, you could be asked not to do certain things, which might not sound well for the patient. You know,
Hmm.
so that could be the reason, one of the reasons why a lot of people go in for Western medicines.
But diet and lifestyle, like traditional lifestyle, traditional diet, this is kind of interwoven with the traditional medicine, right?
That's right. That's right.
And so because it sounds like what you're saying is that with Western medicine, even though it can be kind of effective, there's more people sick. Overall, the sick people have increased.
Yes, yes, that's true.
And so
There's
that's the result of the kind of the lack of adherence to the traditional lifestyle and traditional diet then. Is that right?
exactly,
Okay.
exactly, because not only medicine, not only Western medicine, but Western lifestyle,
Mhm.
Western foods, and then a lot of Western um, concepts have kind of brought a lot of disadvantages, which sicknesses are inclusive,
Uh-huh.
which sicknesses is inclusive. So um, we use not to have a lot of sicknesses like diabetes, um, um, obesity, you know, um, hypertension, and all these kinds of sicknesses. But
Mhm.
these days they are on the increase because of lifestyle and the fact that we are not adhering to our traditional lifestyle, our traditional diets, and herbal medicines.
Uh-huh. So that's why you're saying if the Western culture came in and relied only on traditional medicine, it would be kind of difficult for traditional medicine to handle the increase of sickness that results.
That's true. That's true.
Uh-huh.
Because, but there's also a new trend where people are beginning to see the effects of Western medicines, and then the effects of um, imported foods, and the fact that they are not adhering to traditional medicines. So there's that trend where people are now becoming conscious, and they are kind of going back to the roots of our our herbs and our medicines.
So a lot of the food and a lot of the diet were kind of preventative medicine. Yeah.
Exactly.
Uh-huh. And is that knowledge is still close enough that they can replace some of the Western ideas that haven't worked back to the original? It's still like there's still hope.
Yes, yes, there's hope. It's just a matter of people being able to um, to control their desires for unhealthy lifestyles and unhealthy eating habits, and foods that are not healthy, and
I
go
understand.
back to
So
yes, yeah.
I understand the idea of bad diet and things like this. This is very common all over the world with traditional medicine systems. But another thing that's really common, though, is kind of how the individual is connected with the rest of the society, how they're connected with the nature, how what they do has meaning or matters to the society, you know? And it's something that Western culture
Yeah.
has had a hard time to keep preserved as it's grown. It's lost a lot of this, and a lot of people become isolated, and then they get hit with depression and mental illness, and they become more selfish. As a like that's kind of the the solution in a lot of people's minds is, oh, you just take care of yourself and be selfish, but then they get more disconnected and they get more sick. Yeah. And so
Yeah.
there's a lot of there's a lot of renewed interest in a lot of indigenous ceremonies, and even some of these sacred plant teachers to like re realign the person back into society, so they feel connected and they feel important and they feel their life has meaning. Is there some movement along with the diet and lifestyle? Is there some movement to restore some excitement and enthusiasm about traditional ceremonies and festivals and things like this that bring people together, and so someone doesn't get isolated and become kind of alone and confused?
Yes. The problem that we face here is we are becoming more like Westerners. We it's our societies have are now becoming cosmopolitan, where there's an infusion of different foreign cultures and people. It goes back to the era where colonialism kind of had have a negative impact, where people feel inferior and everything Western is superior. So this has kind of affected a lot of people um, psychologically. So um, people, some people think everything from the Western world is better than things that are here. But a section of the people too are connected to nature. They are connected to the traditions here, and they are the keepers of the tradition going on. And that is why there's a need to empower these people who still believe in nature, who still believe in the tradition of nature as the mother of um healing, and
Mm.
nature and humans living in harmony. These are the people that we need to empower. But unfortunately, in this part of the world, there's still some kind of um, there needs to be some kind of education and awareness creation about um, connecting to nature and uh, connecting to our everything.
Mhm. So the not everybody agrees with the value of the traditional knowledge. Yeah, some people are willing to let it go so they can get a newer computer, a newer phone, and better internet signal, and um, better kind of training for work and shops and commerce.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, well, it's I think it's part of the responsibility in the West here for uh, you know the the ability to have scope in the vision to see kind of where certain kind of attitudes and ideals end up, because we've actually been there, is a little bit
Hmm.
more advantageous, like even though they still might be, say burning trash and polluting the air, for a lot of the Western countries now it's kind of like not acceptable. Even, it's totally inappropriate because of what they've discovered, the poisoning that happens and the effect on the health. Whereas in
Okay.
a lot of the second and third world countries, they're still doing certain things, that have the government is still making enough money that they're not really considering the byproduct. Like even some of the dangerous pesticides that are illegal in the United States, we still sell to second and third world countries because their governments will still permit them to be used, because
Hmm.
of money, basically.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of a big thing to work together. Like the second and third world countries, they still have some of their traditions intact and some of their knowledge intact, and they like in your situation, it's maybe not super supported locally, but from a global educational point of view, it has more merit and value for long-term health. This is one of the things we're looking at here, is that there's so much money poured out for public health programs, insurance that's paying, tens of thousands of US dollars, sometimes a month, if not each year, for many individuals because they have a bad lifestyle and they're totally disconnected from nature in every way. Yeah. So much that they're
Yeah.
thinking now of putting chemical nutrients in food, vitamins and minerals. They're already done, but now they're also talking about putting pharmaceutical drugs in food, so
Mm-hmm.
that when the people,
Yeah.
they can still eat their crappy food that have no nutritional value and harms the body, and with it comes the chemical medicine that helps to helps the body deal with it, even though it has side effects. So yeah, all these thinking, like it's very it's been some education that's been started now to the governments of like, why are you wasting money on these people? Why not do this, teach them how to eat and grow clean food, and um, and then you won't have to spend the money. But it's very complicated. So this is kind of, if I understood you correctly in our earlier conversations, this is kind of one of your specialty. So right, this is one of your life, or your part of your life work is sustainable community development and the reestablishing of traditional culture and lifestyle, with medicine kind of woven into it, as kind of the prescription of medicine being based on right livelihood. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right. That is what I'm doing here. That is the project that I embark here to kind of um, promote our indigenous lifestyles that are positive, and then kind of give some create some awareness, and create some models, and bring healers and traditional um, groupings who are into healing, and together to discuss about ways forward that could be beneficial to the society as a whole. So that is what the project is about,
Could you
and to
say,
also.
yeah, could please expand on what you're doing? I'm very interested and really want to share some of what you've discovered. We first were talking about Siddha medicine and medicine, and now I see that your holistic approach is really sets an incredible model. So yeah, please let us know more about what the project you're doing.
Okay, so the project is about rural community empowerment. So it's kind of holistic approach to empowering rural community people, because there's a lot of misconception about rural people, and one of the ways to handle that is to to support rural people in through socioeconomic activities. So that is one of the areas that I'm focusing on. So we we add value to our natural resources. For instance, we have the baobab powder,
Uh-huh.
which which is a very good herbal medicine, but it is eaten as a fruit here. But according to research, it is one of the treatments for diabetes, and it has been accepted by the international bodies that are responsible for regulating um, foods, food stuff. So what we do is we some of the herbs and then some of the fruits that are medicinal, we add value to it, and then we sell it to uh, people who are into healthy lifestyle, or people who have some specific or particular um, health problems. And the other aspect is we engage in um activities in the rural areas that are geared towards healing people. So there's a program, there's a particular festival and a dance that is kind of healing. It's coded. It's healing to the people who participate in it. So this is organized almost every year. It is organized every year to um, for community gatherings and for cohesion. I mean togetherness. So usually community people who are far away and near come to participate in this activity because it's a form of healing for the people. It's like uh, it's similar to mm, Tandava, if you like.
Oh, like
Tandava,
the Hindu god Shiva, the dance that Shiva does.
exactly. It's similar to that dance, and it is done danced in different ways using mudras and gestures. Some of those gestures are healing to the people who do them. I mean, who portray them, and sometimes it's just a natural healing. The vibration of the drums and then the flutes are also healing to anybody who hears them.
Hmm.
So these are some of the things that we promote, you know, and we educate the people not to shy away from these things simply because uh, uh, some it is not lucrative. It is something that doesn't fetch money, so a lot of people are going in for white collar jobs, and they are migrating to the bigger cities to get jobs. But these are some of the things. And also food stuff, we are doing research into most of the traditional food stuff that are here, and we trying to get nutritional values attached to each vegetable, fruit, and foods that are found here. So we also have plans of establishing an eco village where um, we would have holistic um, healers to occasionally come together, or we would invite, it would be a center for people all over the world to come for healing, and a list of healers will be contacted to attend to various health issues of the people who come there. So these are some of the activities that we are working on.
So does the Gurunchi people? Am I saying it right? Gurunchi.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
Gurunchi people. Do they have a history? Are they known for their medicine, for their herbal knowledge, or for their connections with different medical traditions?
Yes, they are known, but you know, one thing is there are a lot of tribes in Africa, and even in Ghana, there are many of them. So, and much of what is known in the Groshi community is also known in other areas, because there's an integration um, of experiences and practices. So, um, but it is well known about our Groshi's healing abilities. Like people from other places come for healing here in
Uh-huh.
our communities.
Do they have a big medicine market there? Like a market with
Yes, there's.
herbal
Yes,
medicines and
yes.
okay.
It is very common. It is very common, and the fact of the matter is, like I said earlier on, every household have some form of heal healing. It's very common in the village, you know. It's these things are taught to people when they are born and they are growing. So it's mostly some common health issues are not actually sent anywhere. They are hailed from they are treated from households because it is common. For instance, if somebody has malaria, they don't and they want to use herbal medicines to treat. They don't have to go to any other healer. They just know what to do
Ah,
or what helps to get. But usually, if if people have very critical health problems, then they would have to get a special herbalist or a special healer.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
So is
So
the traditional diet still accessible? Do you still grow all the foods and have everything that you used to eat?
yes, it is still
Okay.
done.
So it's still so basically it's you're right at the point where they could leave it behind and go for modern Western or reinstill and restore their traditional diet. It wouldn't be that difficult because they still have everything.
Yes, they still have everything.
Oh wow,
They
okay.
still have it. Yeah.
Okay. And so you've been studying medicine and healing with one or two teachers, right? You were telling me.
Yes, that's right.
For 15, I think you said 15 years, is that correct?
That's right.
So then are you now one of the village's healers? I mean they come to you for different things?
Yes, we have our own how do I call it? We have how we usher people into the arena of healers, and you can call yourself a healer, but there's an initiation you have to take before um, that title could be given to you.
Hmm.
And we have, if you are still understudying, you cannot like officially say you are a healer, but in fact you are a healer, but it's just like going to school for a degree, going to the university for a degree,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't have a certificate to show you have a degree, but in actual fact you have gone through the process. I don't know if you get what I mean.
Oh no, I totally understand what you're saying. Yes. Yes, it's kind of
Yes.
like I practice Tibetan medicine.
Okay.
But in our tradition, if I say I'm a doctor to Tibetan medicine,
Mhm.
many of my fellow students would be very surprised because
Okay.
the fact is that to be an actual doctor in Tibetan
Mhm.
medicine means you also understand everything about astrology, everything about omenology, signs
Mhm.
and signals and things that happen in nature around you while you're talking or while you're walking or when you prepare things, when you see a patient, all these different signs that happen and how to interpret them. Geomancy, how the energy of the land is laid with the hills and the water and the valleys and the sky and so and pharmacology, meaning that you can make every medicine that you're using, which requires a
Yeah.
lot of knowledge of purifying minerals, getting detoxifying poisonous plants and poisonous substances that are being used in the medicines, how to mix them, when to mix them, all that. And then then the last two is, like kind of what I do and my fellow students do is we in a way, we can't say this legally, but what we're doing is we're diagnosing disease, and we're prescribing, or we're prescribing medicine. The medicine is made of minerals and herbs, and sometimes animal products, and these medicines are made in a really specific way, and then they're actually, after they make them, they're prayed over for like 2 weeks before they actually give them out to the public. So very few students that I know make any of their medicines. Some of us, we make a few of the medicines.
Okay.
Most of the medicines are made in very elaborate and highly kind of secret pharmacies. The
Yeah,
pharmacological knowledge is one of the most kept secret because of the potential to be misused. Yeah, because there's
that's true.
knowledge of changing metals, and there's knowledge of doing all sorts of things that could be abused. And of course, we also do external therapies and things like that. But yeah, so that in the same way, I don't say I mean, like, if for convenience in a conversation, I might say, oh, I'm a doctor of Tibetan medicine, but I would never say that if there was going to be a conversation about it. Especially,
Yeah.
I would never
So in
say that
that,
in front of other anybody that knew about Tibetan medicine. I wouldn't tell them I'm a doctor of Tibetan medicine, because I don't have that full knowledge. Even though I could see a sick person, give them medicine or therapy, and help them, it's way much more deep than just that.
yes, in that sense, yes, I'm a traditional healer. Yes, but like I said, that there has to be some form of certification, which in the Western world you have to have a certificate to be called a doctor or a healer. But here it is not done like that. We have our own processes, which I mentioned to you, like the initiation. If
Uh-huh.
you move with a particular elder, and he sees you have passed through all the processes, he can initiate you, and then you are a healer, but you are still connected to him. At any time you need any assistance from him or any of the healers, you can easily go. There's always some kind of integration, or some form of referring or inquiring from the elders. So yes,
And the community knows the students, so they can often ask the students for help. Yeah. Am I?
yes, exactly.
Okay,
Ex-
okay. So the people still come to you for help, but they also recognize that you have a teacher, and anything that's kind of complex or complicated, you would bring them to your teacher.
Yes, that's true, but there's no clear cut
Okay.
way as to how people come for help
Uh,
or how people come for healing. They can choose to come, and they can choose to go elsewhere. It's just a matter of who they resonate, like they feel like going to.
mhm.
So most come, and you know they just come not because they think uh, I I mean they come just because some of them think, yes, I can be of help to them. And people have various reasons why they approach certain persons. And the thing is, um I kind of use holistic approach to healing. And that is not just what is around our surroundings, but what I've also learned in Ayurveda and other traditional healing from other places, from other countries or backgrounds. So that is one of the reasons why people would choose to go somewhere, and making things more easier, because a lot of people would not want to come if uh, the process is cumbersome for them to follow.
Mm-hmm. And it seems like you've made a lot of observation over 15 years of how to start to reinstill uh, faith and trust in the indigenous tradition again. Yeah, and how to
That's true.
re-implement that in some of the people who have kind of are trying to pursue a different culture. So in the next session that we speak, I'd love to go a little bit deeper into some ideas, behind the healing system that you're doing, and see what you could share. That would be really wonderful. I really appreciate the time that you've spent with me today, and I really look forward to getting your kind of project and exposing a little bit more about what you're doing. I know it's really valuable, and I know many people would find it very valuable to understand that you're in process of stabilizing the traditional culture from disappearing, and reinstating more solid health and healthy options for healing, and to preventative medicine avenues. I'd like to put your website. You have a website you're working on?
Yes, I have a website that we are working on publishing it. It's still under construction.
Okay, well, we'll eventually stick it up as a link where people can find you. And
Okay.
is it okay if I at some point we'll put your phone number up here if it's okay? People can contact you.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, okay.
That's fine.
Well, thank you, Charles, and let's have another talk again. Okay, I hope this is the first of a few series of conversations that we can share a little bit about, some simple but powerful tools that people can hopefully take advantage of. Yeah.
Sure. I'm always honored to share what we use here, and for our healing, and our indigenous lifestyle here. That is very, very positive, and sometimes hidden in the things we do, the way we talk, the way we eat. Everything is always kind of coded unless it is explained, and that is why some people who do not have access to um, our ways always see us different, and they always think otherwise, unless we give them a full explanation of what it is. you know Even when you wake up in the morning, there's a way to go about your activities, and who to greet, what you do, and everything is kind of connected, and it's all part of healing. It's all part of the process of living. So healing is not just about having a sickness, but healing is also about uh, strengthening what you already have, the core of your being, and connecting with nature. So, and I think the next session will enter more into that.
Okay. Excellent. Beautifully said. All right. I'll go ahead and end the recording, and we'll continue next time. This is Douglas DeBecker and Charles with Fallen Rhythm Institute, and we've been discussing about Guru Shri people and their traditional healing. Thank you.